Patrie Exercise 5.1. Hi, my name is Ella Perkin, and I'm going to tell you about the time I went to Madame Tussauds Wax Museum in London, England. I went with my brother Tom. Paraphrased. I'm Ella Perkin, and I went to the wax museum called Madame Tussauds in London, England. My brother Tom and I visited this place. Number 2. It was about 18 months ago. We went to visit my relatives who live in Sheffield, England. Paraphrased. My relatives live in Sheffield, England, and we went to visit them about 18 months ago. Number 3. However, after about 2 weeks in Sheffield, we got bored and decided to go to London for a few days before we had to go home. Paraphrased. After a few days, we got bored, so we decided to go to Sheffield before we went home. Number 4. We traveled around to many different museums, and we saw the Buckingham Palace and other famous attractions, and then we decided to go to Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, which is a museum that has wax models of famous people. Paraphrased. We visited Buckingham Palace and a few other attractions, but then after we walked around for a while, we decided to visit the wax museum called Madame Tussauds. The museum had a lot of models of famous people. Number 5. Some of the people that they had models of were Harrison Ford, the Beatles. They had ones of practically everyone who ever lived in the royal family, and many of the past U.S. presidents. Paraphrased. The wax models included royal family members, the Beatles, Harrison Ford, and a few U.S. presidents. Number 6. And the fun part about it was that you could get your picture taken with all the different wax models. So we got our picture taken with the Beatles, and my brother wanted to get his picture taken with Mr. T from the A-Team. Paraphrased. It was really neat to be able to take our pictures with the wax models. We got our picture taken with the Beatles, and then my brother decided he wanted his picture taken with Mr. T. Number 7. And so he posed with Mr. T, flexing his muscles, and we also posed with Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford was in an Indiana Jones type setting with all these rocks. Paraphrased. My brother posed with Mr. T, and then he flexed his muscles. And we also posed with Harrison Ford. The background had this Indiana Jones type feel because it had rocks and stuff. Number 8. It was really exciting to be able to go. Obviously they didn't look totally real, but they were life-size, and they also had a section where they showed you how they made the wax models, and it was really fun. Paraphrased. It was neat to see all the life-sized models, and even though they didn't look real, it was still interesting to see. They also had a section about how the wax models were made, and that was fun. 9. I also got my picture taken with Boris Becker, who's one of my favorite tennis players. Paraphrased. I took a photo with Boris Becker, who happens to be a favorite tennis player of mine. Number 10. So I had a really good time, and I think it's one of the places that a lot of people probably don't go to when they go to London, because all they want to see is Buckingham Palace and the royal family. But it was very fun, and I would recommend to anybody to go there. Paraphrased. While the Wax Museum is not a popular place because a lot of people tend to go to Buckingham Palace or the royal family, I had a really good time, and I definitely recommend this place for anyone.